What if just one single thought really held the power to fundamentally alter the entire course of your life?
That sounds almost too simple, right? Like something out of a movie.
Exactly. But the timeless source material we're exploring today argues this isn't just, theory or wishful thinking. It's presented as a very real blueprint.
It truly is. And that powerful idea is basically the core premise behind the insights we're about to unpack. A mechanism almost for turning intention into actual reality.
Absolutely. So today, our deep dive takes us into Napoleon Hill's huge work, Think and Grow Rich, Principles of Achievement.
Yeah, and that title, Think and Grow Rich, it can be a bit misleading if you take it only literally.
Right. While rich is definitely in there, the real goal, the lasting insights, they go way beyond just money.
Much broader, yeah.
This deep dive is really about unlocking a universal mindset, a set of principles you can apply to all kinds of success and personal growth, whatever success means to you.
And what's so compelling about Hill's approach, I think, is how he distilled like decades of observation. He interviewed some of the most successful people of his time and turned it into a practical step-by-step method. So our mission today is really to pull out the most impactful nuggets of knowledge, the truly actionable insights from this foundational source.
We want to give you a shortcut, basically. A way to get well informed on these potentially transformative concepts and help you see what's really important in there.
Exactly. So think of these insights less as just philosophy and more like a robust blueprint for achievement, whatever your personal ambition might be.
Yeah, whether you're a student aiming for top marks or maybe an entrepreneur trying to build something new, or honestly, just someone curious about applying powerful ideas to your life. These principles offer a path.
A tangible path. We're here to help you understand the core mechanics, what makes them tick.
Hill's whole philosophy is kind of rooted in this idea that your mental state, if you cultivate it correctly, can translate into tangible reality.
It starts inside, not with action first, but with something more fundamental, an internal spark.
Okay, so let's unpack this journey.
Yeah.
Starting with Hill's very first, foundational principle. Desire, the starting point of all achievement.
And this isn't just a casual thought, like, oh, I wish I had.
No, definitely not. Hill talks about a burning desire. It's got to be clear. A really defined goal, yes, but backed by this intense passion, maybe even an obsession.
That difference, that distinction between a fleeting wish and a burning desire, it's absolutely critical. It's like the difference between a New Year's resolution you forget by February and a commitment that actually lasts through setbacks. Hill really emphasizes you have to know your why and commit so fully that backing down just isn't, it's not an option.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think of a student. They don't just want good grades. They have a burning desire for mastery in their subject.
Yeah.
Maybe it's driven by wanting to get into a specific program or just the deep satisfaction of understanding something complex.
Right.
Or an entrepreneur isn't just hoping their venture launches. They're consumed by the desire to bring that specific product or service to life, driven by a vision of solving a real problem.
It's that intense focus, that singular drive, that's what makes the difference.
Exactly. Between those who succeed and those who just dream about it.
Okay, so that distinction is huge. Once you've got that fire, that burning desire, how do you keep it going? How do you shape your mind to really believe you can achieve it?
Well, that's where Hill brings in the second principle. Faith, visualizing, and believing in attainment.
Faith. Now, he doesn't mean blind hope, does he?
No, not at all. He describes it as a powerful, active combination, intense visualization and unwavering belief. It's about intentionally, deliberately leveling up your mental state, your expectation, to actually manifest success.
So it's an active process, mentally blueprinting it.
That's a great way to put it. You don't just passively hope you'll ace that tough exam. You actively picture yourself in the exam room, feeling confident, answering questions.
Seeing the good grade.
Seeing the grade, feeling the success, all the details. Or for an entrepreneur, it's vividly seeing your business thriving, products on shelves, happy customers, the team celebrating.
And the idea is your brain starts to follow that belief.
Pretty much. The brain is like a pattern matching machine, right? If you consistently feed it these vivid positive outcomes, it starts to actively look for ways to make it real. It prioritizes pathways towards that vision, almost filtering out things that don't align.
Training your brain to see opportunities it might have missed before.
Yes, it's quite powerful when you practice it consistently.
Okay, so feeding your brain these positive visions, that leads pretty naturally into the next principle, autosuggestion, speaking to the subconscious.
Right. This is where you actively, deliberately program your mind. using daily positive affirmations, empowering statements, basically reshaping your subconscious thoughts.
It sounds a bit like, well, just talking to yourself. Does it really work?
Hill argues it does, but it's not just repeating empty phrases. It has to be intentional, belief-infused self-talk. Over time, it literally starts to rewire your thinking.
So if you keep telling yourself, I am disciplined or I am resourceful.
And you say it with real conviction, truly believing it,
Yeah.
your mind starts to internalize it. It pushes you towards behaviors that match those affirmations. It's a tool for changing your internal landscape, building new habits, moving from just thinking about being different to actually being different.
The silent architect of your daily actions. I like
Yeah.
that. So, okay, you've started working on your internal mindset, desire, faith, auto-suggestion. Now you need the right kind of external fuel,
Yeah.
right? Information.
Exactly. Which brings us to specialized knowledge. Hill makes this really crucial point. General knowledge is fine, it gives context, but it's not enough for big achievements.
You need specifics.
Yes. The focus has to be on seeking specific, deeply applicable insights within whatever field you're in.
And he wasn't just saying memorize everything, was he?
No, not at all. He was highlighting the strategic advantage of depth over breadth. Actionable knowledge. So for you, if you're a student, it means going way beyond just the lectures.
Right, really mastering the subject, understanding the nuances.
Being able to apply it creatively. And for entrepreneurs, look, it's not enough to know about business generally.
Yeah.
You need to profoundly understand your specific niche, your market, your customers' real needs, your unique edge.
But that specialized insight lets you solve specific problems, gives you an advantage, makes you indispensable maybe.
That's the idea. Not just competent, but truly valuable because of that depth.
Okay, so you've got the mindset starting to dial in. You've got the specialized knowledge. How do you turn that knowledge into something new, something innovative?
Now that's where imagination, the workshop of the mind, comes into play. Hill saw imagination as the literal origin of all innovation. It's the space where visual brainstorming turns ideas into, well, potential reality.
The engine of creativity.
Exactly. And the incubator for solutions. I mean, think about it. How do you come up with new ways to tackle complex exam problems you haven't seen before?
Yeah, you have to think outside the box, connect ideas.
Right. Imaginative thinking, visualizing possibilities. And how do entrepreneurs create truly novel products or services that stand out?
They have to imagine something that doesn't exist yet. See opportunities others miss.
Precisely. So imagination isn't just for artists. It fuels every single endeavor. It lets you envision solutions and creations that move you forward. It's where what if starts turning into how to.
Okay, vision, knowledge, imagination, but you need a plan, right? You can't just dream.
Absolutely not. And that's the next crucial step, organized planning. Hill really stresses how vital it is to translate that desire and imagination into concrete action through a detailed written plan.
Written down, that's important.
Very. But it's not just about your plan, he adds another layer here.
Which is?
It's also about who you surround yourself with to help execute that plan.
The people element.
Yes. Who are you intentionally bringing into your orbit? He introduces this complementary idea. Surround yourself with supportive, like-minded people.
So for students, maybe dedicated study groups, people serious about doing well.
Exactly. Holding each other accountable. For entrepreneurs, it's building strong, aligned teams, finding mentors, the power of a well-thought-out written plan, plus the right people. That combo really amplifies your chances.
Turns an individual effort into something bigger. Collective momentum.
You got it.
Okay, plan in place, maybe team forming. But then there's that thing that trips so many people up, the hesitation.
Ah, yes. The silent killer of dreams, as you called it earlier. Decision mastering procrastination.
This one resonates, I think. Hill saw indecision as an absolute dream killer. He noticed successful people tend to decide quickly.
And crucially, they change their minds slowly, if they change them at all, once a decision is made.
It's not about being rash, though, right?
No, not rash. It's about making a considered decision and then committing, moving forward with conviction. Avoid that paralysis by analysis.
So if you're choosing a course of study, decide, commit, excel. Launching a product, commit, refine as you go.
Exactly. Stop the constant second-guessing once you've made a solid choice. That decisiveness builds momentum. It tells your subconscious you're serious. It stops that internal conflict that just drains energy.
Right. That makes sense, which then requires, well, just pure grit sometimes.
Absolutely. Which brings us nicely to persistence, the sustained effort.
Hill is super clear here. Failure isn't defeat unless you actually quit.
That's the core message. The key is getting back up, dusting yourself off, learning, and just keeping going. Consistency, no matter the setbacks.
Persistence is where so many people falter, isn't it? It's easy to start, harder to finish.
It really is. Think about students who study consistently day in, day out, even when it's tough. They're the ones who master things. Or entrepreneurs who pivot, iterate, keep going despite failures or market rejection. They're the ones who eventually build something lasting. Persistence isn't just nice to have, it's often the ultimate winner. It's the crucible where desire gets forged into reality.
Forging desire into reality. I like that image.
Yeah.
And as you persist, you often realize you can't, or maybe shouldn't, do it all alone.
Very true. And that leads perfectly into one of Hill's most famous concepts, the power of the mastermind.
Right. Surrounding yourself with a group of supportive, driven people, sharing a common purpose.
And this is more than just networking, It's about a real synergy of minds. Almost like a spiritual alliance, Hill suggests, for a common goal.
So, study partners pushing each other, challenging ideas, that's a kind of mastermind for students.
Definitely. Clarifying concepts, sharing approaches, or think about business networks where entrepreneurs genuinely uplift each other, share resources, provide accountability.
That collective energy and intelligence,
Yeah.
it multiplies individual results.
It really does. It creates an environment where ideas spark, challenges get tackled with shared strength, and individual weaknesses are kind of balanced out by the group's strengths. It's leveraging collective potential exponentially.
Okay, so we've covered these core, pretty tangible principles: desire, faith, autosuggestion, knowledge, imagination, planning, decision, persistence, mastermind. What else does Hill touch on? He goes a bit deeper, right?
He does. Towards the end of the book, he starts exploring what he calls the mystery of the mind and beyond. He briefly delves into things like the subconscious, intuition, even what he terms the sixth sense.
Sixth sense. That sounds a bit out there.
It can sound that way initially, but what's really intriguing is when he suggests these elements become truly significant. He implies that accessing deeper intuition, understanding subconscious drives, that really happens after you've mastered the foundational principles we just discussed.
So it's like building a strong foundation first.
Exactly. Like you need that solid ground, the desire, faith, planning, persistence, the mastermind support, before you can really start exploring the upper floors of your potential, so to speak.
Build the skyscraper first.
Right. He suggests that once you've disciplined your conscious mind and actions through these principles, your subconscious starts to unlock new levels of insight and guidance, almost automatically.
That's a really powerful, thought-provoking idea. So, wrapping this up as we've explored today, Think and Grow Rich is clearly way more than just a book about getting wealthy.
Oh, absolutely. It's fundamentally about changing your mindset, first and foremost, establishing powerful, deliberate habits, and ultimately consciously shaping your destiny, whatever your personal definition of success actually is.
We've covered a lot today, from that initial spark of a burning desire, all the way to the exponential power of a mastermind group.
We really hope you, listening, take a moment to reflect on which of these principles maybe resonated most strongly with you right now.
Yeah, maybe it was the idea of needing hyper-specialized knowledge, not just general facts. Or perhaps it was the sheer, undeniable power of persistence that hit home.
Think about how you might start applying even one of them, right away, to your own goals.
Whether that's in your studies, your career, or just your personal development. Start small, maybe, but start with real intention and consistency.
Definitely. And as you go forward from here, maybe mull this over. If these tangible, actionable principles lay the groundwork for incredible, measurable achievement, what untapped potential truly lies within that mystery of the mind Hill talks about, that deeper wellspring of intuition and subconscious power, especially once these fundamentals are really locked in.
And how might unlocking that change your whole understanding of what's possible for you in the future?
It's a big question, worth exploring, definitely. And it hints at depths maybe even beyond what we managed to cover today.